Anonymous sources were individuals from the Comey-Ray era that weaponized the Department of Justice and cratered the public trust in the FBI to something that was at levels that has never been seen. 35% public trust in the FBI when we came in 10 months ago. And now we're to believe that these anonymous sources are the ones accusing this FBI, the most successful in history, of being rudderless. Let's just look at the results. If we were so rudderless and we sent our mission out into the country and around the world, how would we have arrested 25,000 violent felons this year alone? That's twice as many as last year alone. Crushing violent crime. We're defending the homeland. When Dan and I got here, it was a rudderless ship. But we re-executed this mission. We defanged the weaponization that corrupted it. We jettisoned those like these anonymous sources in this reporting. And all they have to talk about is anonymous sources and jackets and leather patches. They can have that all day long. The mission of this FBI is to serve the American people. And we are doing it at a level that has never been done before because of the leadership we have here. And thanks to President Trump's sweeping victory that demanded this place be rid of weaponization and put it back on a course to prosecuting criminals, investigating criminals, and putting away terrorists. And that's what we are doing every single day here.
Alex, I want to get your thoughts on the FBI Director Kash Patel, because the New York Post is reporting that FBI Director Kash Patel and his deputy Dan Bongino are facing criticism from an alliance of active duty and retired agents days after the White House denied reports that the president could be firing Kash Patel. Now, Patel apparently has been criticised over his behaviour in Salt Lake City after Charlie Kirk's assassination. He's accused of giving premature public remarks that potentially jeopardise the investigation. I want to get your thoughts on this. Kash Patel, he recently gave an interview about Thomas Crooks, who's of course accused of trying to assassinate Donald Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. But he gave that interview after reports from the New York Post and others about Thomas Crooks, and they exposed parts of Thomas Crooks' online history. I think many Americans would just like more answers, more transparency. What do you make of this report?
You know, this is a tough question because I'm friends with Kash. I've known Kash for, a few years now, and I like Kash personally. But when you get nominated to be the top cop, the head of the FBI, this is a position where most of the people there are not going to be happy. They're not going to like that you basically usurp their power, because these people have been working at the agency for 20 years, and, you are basically a podcaster with your Dan Bongino or Kash Patel. So I can see how as soon as they got in there was going to be a lot of friction. But when it comes to what they've done while they've been in office, while they have been, leading the FBI, nobody's satisfied with any of the transparency surrounding Charlie Kirk, surrounding Thomas Crooks, surrounding the Epstein files. It's been a terrible disaster. And to add insult to injury, which I love Kash, and I'm good friends with his girlfriend, Alexis Wilkins, now they're filing a lawsuit against podcasters that are critiquing them. So I think that, once you are in the spotlight and to the level that Kash Patel and Dan Bongino is, even their loved ones, they're going to catch some strays, and I really don't think it's a good look for Kash Patel to be suing, mid-level podcasters. So there's a lot of issues that need to be corrected. I hope he doesn't lose his job. I hope he has time to fix it. But, so far their resume has not been very good.
I agree with you. I really do. Now, let's talk about Rosie O'Donnell, a favourite. And she's given her kids Trump derangement syndrome, TDS, and she's blaming it on Donald Trump. Listen to this.
My daughter is now saying, damn him, damn Trump, and smashing her hand on the table. And I said, wow, honey, what are you thinking? And she said, he made us move in order for our own safety. And it's now he's destroying the country. You know, listen, she lives here. She hears what I'm saying to you. Not that I go around speaking like this every day if it's not an interview, but I think to myself, you don't want to give this to her. You know, whatever this thing.
She does. She does go around speaking like that every day. We've heard too much of her. I mean, the poor children listening to Rosie O'Donnell every day on the, in a different country and still getting, worse and worse TDS.
No, they've definitely been brainwashed by their mother. And I miss the Rosie O'Donnell who used to have the #1 hit show that used to be funny, that used to be laughable. Because, for a female comedian, Rosie O'Donnell was at the top of her game at one point, and now she has such bad Trump derangement syndrome, her children are being infected by it. So she needs to go back to being funny and try to make her kids laugh. And you know what? As her daughter, I probably would be a little frustrated if they had to move, and my mom told me that I was constantly under threat. So, I'm very empathetic to her young daughter for all the trauma-based mind control that her mother has put her through.
Alex. Now we're getting to Christmas, the best time of the year, of course. But if we need any reminding that the White House got an upgrade this year, this is how Melania is celebrating Christmas. Look at this video. It's beautiful. I mean, Melania has so much class. Decorations are absolutely beautiful. But if we need reminding that this woke era is over, let's just look at what Jill Biden did to promote Christmas. So bad. Alex, you can't compare it.
No, I mean, I will be honest. I do not think there was enough drag queens in Melania's Christmas debut. That's the one thing that we're missing. We need about 10 more drag queens. No, and the reality of the situation, you could maybe critique Donald Trump on some things. I think there's some fair criticism, but when it comes to style and class and design and just, making stuff beautiful, Donald Trump is an expert when it comes to just making stuff look nice. And, I think people were criticizing how nice he made the Oval Office look. I think it looks awesome with all the gold. So Melania and Trump, you had to give it to them. They're first class all the way when it comes to decorating.
They absolutely are. And the White House has thrown its first Christmas party. Here is Donald Trump.
I just want to let you know it's an honor for me to be your president. The people in this room, you took the place of a lot of people that wanted to be here, so I congratulate you. You either had friends or relatives or somebody that got you in here. How are you, my friend? Look at him. But it's an honor to be your president. We're going to do a great job. And, we have a little more than 3 years left, and 3 years for Trump is an eternity. That's a long period of time. But you're very special, and this is a very, very special place.
An eternity of President Trump. Watch the media go into meltdown about that, Alex.
Well, they are going to get mad because, that is the rumor that Donald Trump is, he's going to secretly run for vice president with J.D. Vance, and then he can kind of be the de facto president for another 4 years or potentially 8 years if J.D. Vance runs twice. So I don't know if any of that is going to happen, but I do know that Donald Trump has 3 years, and I hope that these next 3 years he makes America great again, because I'll be honest, the first year has not been excellent. I would say it's probably been a B. We need to get back into the A's, Donald. We really got to, make this country great again.